Have you ever wondered why some people gain weight during intensely stressful periods of time, while others may lose it? Well, hello, I'm Sheridan Genrich, naturopath and nutritionist, and today I'm going to help you break this down. I've been practicing for over 10 years, and I want to welcome you to Health by Nature. You've likely heard the saying, we only know what we know. Well, this is especially true when it comes to the science of nutrition, which still keeps evolving. It was once believed that weight loss was a simple calories in and out formula. However, as technology develops, we have much more sophisticated functional medicine testing available, which confirms that there is much more to it. Especially relevant are our hormones and the diversity and resilience of our gut bacteria. In clinical practice, I see time and again people frustrated with their short-term efforts for weight loss, exercising heaps and hardly eating anything. For this video, I want to focus on the hormones involved and why some people during intensely stressful times can lose weight initially, but over the long term, most people will gain weight. Stress initially raises cortisol, which stimulates the body to use up the glucose that's in the blood and the muscle storage, which gives us the energy that we need to run away from whatever threat is in front of us. Perception of real threats and those unreal are the same. The response in the body, the physiology is the same. In the short term, the body gets into a catabolic state, breaking down muscle and using up the insulin, along with reducing appetite, and so some people will initially lose weight. The stress response, the fight or flight, or even then eventually freezing, causes our body's blood pressure to go up and the heart rate to go up along with it, and the digestive system shuts down. But if this long-term stress, either physical, mental, or emotional stress, doesn't settle down or lower, then the hormone rush that's going on, with the insulin staying high, it will basically keep storing all that extra glucose, and it keeps you staying with the weight gain cycle. This hormone rush will usually lead to poor sleep, more carb cravings, and then a weakened immune response and no libido. This is no fun at all, and I'm sure you've experienced it at some point. Most of the time, when we are in balance, the nervous system can use a combination of both glucose and body fat as fuel. When we operate at a high level of stress all the time, the body thinks it's in danger. And so the insulin goes up to act as a fast-acting glucose source for fuel into the cell, ultimately to make our bodies feel safe again. Being repeated over time, our bodies have lost the ability to use our body fat stored as fuel because our bodies are in this constant state of stress. This inability to use body fat as fuel leads to the clothes getting tighter, our moods fluctuating, and eventually we start looking for short-term fuel sources like carbohydrates and all the sugars and stuff to keep our energy levels up because we're also feeling really fatigued. Now, what can we do about it? First, I'd like to ask you to question your thoughts around the urgency and the priorities that we have. Are you feeling rushed often? Do you have shortness of breath? Do you shallow breathe into your throat and not your belly? And if your heart is racing often and it's not deliberately during exercise, then that's another red flag to look out for. I also suggest just asking other people to hear your thoughts. They say you're the 5 people who you spend the most time with. So just sharing this with other people can give you a sense of how else you could be rethinking your priorities. Daily walking is a fabulous way to get all that extra energy that you've accumulated during this hormonal stress response and allow that extra energy to be moving through you. I don't recommend high intensity exercise during all these really stressful periods because it can actually make you produce more adrenaline and cortisol. So but daily walking 20 to 30 minutes is wonderful. I also recommend avoiding long-term restrictive eating. Now the body thinks it's in another famine. So if it's long term and you haven't got the metabolic flexibility to do fasting on a regular basis, then put yourself into a protective mode and gentle, loving state first, before you suggest, any extreme restrictions on diets. It'll also slow your metabolism down, which you don't need. And I'll expand on more in coming videos. Please send through any suggestions on topics you want to cover, and please consider sharing this with someone if you've enjoyed or learned anything from this video. Until next time, be well naturally.